Most of us know that anger is considered one of the 7 deadly sins. But many of us are not aware of the thing that we call holy anger, that anger given to us by God to give us the zeal for justice. It's an anger that can consume us and take over our lives and our purpose. This is the sort of anger that consumed Jesus when he walked into the temple prior to Passover and saw the money changers and saw those selling animals and doves for sacrifice. And because of this anger, he fashioned a whip and he drove out those sellers. And he overturned the tables of the money changers. And the Jews wanted a sign from him about what he was doing. And he said to them, "Destroy this temple, and I will rebuild it in 3 days." Or it will be rebuilt in 3 days. And they're like, seriously, what's this guy talking about? It took us 46 years to build this temple, and he's claiming he's going to have it'll be rebuilt in 3 days. But what they didn't understand is the change that was going to come about because of this anger. He was the temple, and they would destroy him. In fact, they would kill him, and he would be resurrected in 3 days. Our bodies are the temple. Our bodies are a temple of God. And instead, we set God aside and created temples as if God was an external reality. And this needed to be undone. This new realization of God's people as being the temple needed to take hold, as it has in Christianity. Now, if we look at what the Jews are celebrating on Passover, they are celebrating their journey into freedom, that freedom from slavery in Egypt. If we compare that to the journey of Martin Luther King, who was also consumed by holy anger, he was leading his people out of bondage, much like Moses. Now, both these men were flawed men, but they were gifted with this anger, this desire for justice, and they accomplished their task for their people. That doesn't mean that it doesn't continue to this day, as it does for all of us. Martin Luther King gave his life for his people. And as we go forward, move forward to Holy Week, it is important to us to look at what anger is within us. And is it holy anger? Is it anger placed there by God to bring justice to our world? Do we play a role in bringing freedom to God's people? And I'm not necessarily referring to a physical freedom, but also a freedom from a bondage that is every bit as powerful as slavery. A bondage to money, a bondage to drugs, a bondage to something that holds us, that prevents us from being who we are really called to be. Now, holy anger has to be discerned. It isn't just a small, minor inconvenience. It is something that is the result of deep prayer. Prayer internally in our temple, who we are, deep within us, that we see and that God gives us a zeal for to change. It is holy anger that drives change in our world. And it is the sacrifice of people for the sake of that change that brings it about. And as we enter Holy Week, that is what we are to consider. What is it in our life that God is calling us to change? Can we discern that in prayer? And can we offer it as we move into Good Friday, where Jesus offered himself? Can we make a similar offering? So that when the resurrection, when Easter Sunday arrives, we can all go out and bring about the change that is so necessary in our world today. We can do it. Our intent needs to be there. Our intent needs to be there for the people who are enslaved. Our intent needs to be there through God's will. And when our intent is pure, even though we are flawed human beings, we can offer ourselves for the cause.